took them 5 movies for them to really deliver what it says in the commercials, in the trailers. It took 5 movies. It took this director and writer fucking 3 movies. Anyway, Fast Five. Fast Five is an even lazier title than Fast and Furious. They managed it. I'm surprised the next one's not called Furious 6 or something to that effect. But anyway, this is Fast Five. It's the 5th movie in the franchise. Yes, it's the one with The Rock. This is where Luke Hobbs comes into the franchise here, and this is where kind of everyone except Letty is kind of in this one. Everyone except Letty and maybe that dude from like Tokyo Drift. What's his name? Boswell or something? Fuck Boswell. We don't never need to see him come back. So this is the first movie of the franchise that kind of reunites like everyone from the previous movies. You've got Tyrese Gibson and Ludacris coming back to play their roles as Tej and Roman Pierce. So it's really cool. We've got pretty much all the gang together. We've got a fun action setup, which is completely ridiculous and stupid, but I really like it. In fact, at times this feels like 2 movies in one, and I'll get to that. This is the longest movie of the franchise so far, at about 2 hours, 10 minutes. And what it's about is, well, Paul Walker and Toretto. I can never remember Paul Walker's name. Is it Brian O'Connor? I think so. It's so generic. All right, so O'Connor, Toretto, and their sister, who's Jordana Brewster, they're on the run and all this kind of stuff. And so one of the dudes from the first movie, this meathead with like a beard, who was like this bully to Paul Walker in the first one, he helps them all get a job, but they all get kind of screwed because the job's revolving around some kind of Rio de Janeiro crime boss named Reyes, and they've got like a chip in this car. So they've somehow got the chip now in the car, and now they're on the run from the police and these guys. And there's one point in the movie, by the way, where Paul Walker is like, it's going to be hard to find out what they're up to because they never leave a paper trail. And I'm like, they never leave a paper trail? Dude, you just looked at their schedule through this chip that they hid for some reason in a car with all their schedules and shit. They don't leave a trail. They left a trail. Now, the reason I feel like this is 2 movies, I reckon you could have just gotten 1 movie out of like The Rock hunting them, and that would have been fine. But The Rock's not in a lot of this movie at all. Hunts them a bit at the start, gets close, don't see him again for ages, and you're like, oh yeah, The Rock's in this. Oh, I remember that now. Now, Dominic Toretto, Vin Diesel, and Paul Walker, they decide we got to get the family together. We got to get all our friends and all that to come help us. So they get like Roman Pierce and Hunley and Gal Gadot and all these other people and shit to do this heist on Reyes, which is really dumb, but actually a lot of fun. So you could have done 1 movie with The Rock and hunting them and stuff, and then you could have done another movie with this Reyes business. It feels like they kind of smooshed them all together, and so that's why you've got the longer running time. Because you've got these 2 different threats and all that. It doesn't really juggle them as well as you might want. It's going to sound I'm shitting on this movie, by the way, but trust me, it's a fun time. Now, there is one scene, and I need to talk about this one scene because, I don't mind my incredulity being stretched pretty damn thin. I know what I'm watching. I'm watching this big dumb action movie, right? But there's this scene with The Rock and all his fucking police cronies, and they're sitting around watching monitors and footage and stuff, and the camera looking into one of these cars is blurry as fuck. It's really blurry. And the drivers have masks on, so the only thing you can see are their eyes. You can only see their eyes. And The Rock's like, zoom in on that. They zoom in on the eyes, retinal scan, and instantly Dominic Toretto's name pops up. Now cross-reference this with all Toretto's known associates. And so they scan the eyes of the known associates, and there he is. There's Hunley, there's Roman Pierce. And I'm just like, wait, what? They got all this just from scanning eyeballs in a moving car with a blurry camera? Like, what? That's some fucking high-tech police work right there. I'm like, holy shit. And I'm scratching my head and just laughing my ass off. I mean, you could have just had him found some other. No, okay, we're doing it this way. Now, it gets even more ridiculous too, because you've got this car chase at the end, which involves like them uh, stealing all this guy's money by hooking up fucking wires to it. So there's got Paul Walker and Vin Diesel driving a car each while they're towing this thing, and it's ridiculous how it all smashes things and all this kind of stuff. But it's super fucking fun, and this is the movie where I'm like, all right, it's not perfect. I've got problems with it. Some of the logic here just makes me fucking laugh, but they're doing it. They're delivering on their promise of we got a big action movie. We're going after this guy and stealing his money, and we got The Rock chasing us, and we're gonna make it somehow really fun and awesome. And they do. And I'm surprised at how nitpicky I can get about this film, and it's still like, yeah, like they kind of managed it. There's even this one real cool scene where four of them steal police cars, and they're at their traffic lights and whatever, and they all look at each other like, let's do a race. And that's really cool. So you get to see him do a race in a police car and all that kind of stuff, which is really cool. Another thing that's really weird in this movie, and maybe it's in the other ones, but I really noticed it in this one. Like, Dominic, not only is he the boss, but he's the most respected, the most cool, the best drivingest, the best fightingest, the bestest at everything. And that gets a little annoying when you've got so many other characters. I feel like he's overpowered, and all the other characters are relatively underpowered compared to him, including The Rock. Because like Vin Diesel beats the shit out of him. I'm like, okay, but yeah. Seeing all these things aside, the package is just big, ridiculous fun. It has it's the biggest crossover within the franchise because you've got all these characters that are here, and they managed to make it work. And I'm glad they brought Hunley back. Hunley, I'm glad they brought him back because he's easily the best character in the franchise. I think he's the coolest. Maybe that's also because even though you might not know it in the Fast and Furious movies, his character's got a lot of attention, especially if you watch that indie movie that Justin Lin directed, Better Luck Tomorrow, which features him. So yeah, I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. It's the best one of the franchise yet. Take your logic, put it in your hand, throw it out the window. You don't need it. Because you're going to nitpick and find some things in this movie completely ridiculous. And you're not going to care one bit. Because it's just big time cheesy fun. They managed to pull it off. At this point though, as much as this is the best one of the series, I'm kind of curious as to what maybe another writer would do with the franchise. Like, could he write the characters better, or maybe give us something different except for Mexican drug lord villain? Latino drug lord villain, I guess, this time. Wasn't Mexican, he was from Brazilian. But, hopefully they'll mix it up a bit. In the future installments, I can't really remember them. I know I've seen them, but I don't know, maybe a fresh perspective. The directing is fine. Justin Lin is right by now really adept at doing insane car chases and action scenes and all that. So I think the directing side of it's fine. I think we just need a stronger writer. Yeah, that's where I sit with it. Give me a like, dislike, share and subscribe, all that shit.